Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad, InDreamsClub's PlayStation podcast. I nailed it.
Nailed it.
I am joined by my wonderful co-host Chris Sloan. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm excited to be here and talk about video games.
Indeed. So let's get. We'll just get straight to it.
Stop right there.
Why?
You've forgotten.
What have I forgotten?
We have to continue with your quest.
Oh yes.
You might remember that last time.
Yeah.
Actually 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
You picked a name and a race for your character. You are Lily.
Mm-hmm.
You are a dwarf.
Beautiful Lily.
I guess if you're into that sounds really bad.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess if you're into
awry.
mythical dwarfs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
dwarves or dwarfs?
Dwarves like wolves.
Yeah, wolves.
Last episode you picked your class and your background for your character, which was a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
But you are a dwarf commoner.
Yeah.
Now I will tell you, the commoner's life of a dwarf is not too great. In that case, this thing, you are a warrior, but you're not quite as noble as maybe you'd like to feel yet. Because today you're going to sort of start off on your quest a little bit. Now, you are Lily.
Yep.
You actually are getting some work under a guy called Berat. Berat is a kind of mid-level crime boss.
Okay.
Now, you sort of generally refuse to do anything too nefarious for him.
Yeah.
But you do. There's a little bit of smuggling, things like that.
Okay, so just petty crimes, kind of.
Basically, Berat has come to you because there is another dwarf that has worked with you for a long time.
Yeah.
And you've kind of, I wouldn't say you're friends, but you have a sort of bit of respect for each other.
Yeah.
Called Oskias. Now, Oskias has betrayed Berat a little bit.
By the way, I'm really enjoying the fact that this podcast is merging into like a D&D podcast of just both of us, and that's that.
It's a one-on-one. So Berat has asked you to find and deal with Oskias.
Oh, okay.
Berat has asked you to bloody.
I was going to say, what does deal with mean?
Well, so essentially, your first big decision that you're going to have to make, as Lily, is what you're going to do with Oskias. Okay. Because you found Oskias.
Yeah.
And you kind of have the decision now. You can kind of kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could, give him a heads up and tell him you need to
back down. Can I? So just to confirm, Oskias is a guy, right?
Yep.
Oskias is a guy.
I'd say a little bit older than you.
Okay, cool. Do I know of him? Like, have I run into him several times before in life?
Yeah. You've maybe done 1 or 2 small jobs with him, but you're kind of friendly-ish, but with someone that you work with.
Yeah. And do I know what he's done?
All that Berat has said is that he's taken. He's sort of something that Berat was smuggling. Yeah. Oskias has taken a large cut of what he was going to smuggle and what he's supposed to be bringing back to the selling. I see.
Because I'm trying to weigh up the seriousness of his crime.
Yeah. It's basically stealing from Berat, kind of.
Yeah. Whilst doing work, he's then taking part of it. Yeah, I see. Okay.
So what's Lily going to do?
Lily is... I think the way Lily would approach this and the kind of character that she is... She's gonna go home first.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've seen I know where he is. Yeah.
Yep.
She's gonna go home first, just quickly mull this over for a couple of seconds.
You're
literally gonna walk in the door, think, and then leave. And what she's gonna do is she's gonna go to the police.
Okay. So
the town.
I'd say the town, the city guard, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the city guard, and she thinks, I've had enough of this life, and I'm going to rat... What's his name? Berat. I'm going to rat him in his entire operation. And I'm going to give... what's the guy's name? Oskias.
Yep.
I'm going to also give him a heads up that Berat's coming for him.
Nice.
And that he needs to he needs to lie low or run. And I'm hoping that I can cut a deal with the city guard that I can have my protection for this empire of smuggling that's been going kind of underground. We're going to expose it, and I'm going to write an op-ed about it and publish it in the local newspaper.
Perfect. All right, we'll stop there. Great.
Fantastic.
Lots achieved there.
Can't wait to see how that
storyline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. Right. Well, let's talk about some news. Okay. I think the news will link into the games that we're playing. So we'll kind of come to those when we come to them.
Yeah.
So a couple of things have happened. A couple of things of note have happened in the last couple of weeks. The first one, which happened just after we recorded our last one, which was a couple of weeks ago now, was BlizzCon.
Damn.
Happened. And it was, how should we say, interesting.
Well, it was, and it was obviously going to be very, everyone was looking at it.
Yeah.
Because obviously there was the whole China, Hong Kong thing.
Exactly. J. Allen Brack, the head of Blizzard, came out and kind of gave an apology.
Did he? It's so weird. Like, everyone's sort of, like, in the news and all that, and when after it happened, everyone was saying, he came out and made an apology, but I don't know if he really did.
I don't know. I kind of agree, actually. I think it's very weak. It's very weak. It is one of those rock and hard places, but not that hard a place, but still a bit of a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
For a giant company to come out like that.
I think one thing. So the actual apology left me fairly cold.
Yeah.
In terms of how I felt about how they were handling it.
Yeah.
What I thought was a bit better was like later on when there was actually some like audience interaction.
Yes.
Where like a couple of people literally like said their question and said, free Hong Kong or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was no effort to shut them down or censor them at all. So that said more to me, I think.
Yes.
In terms of,
I think they probably felt they had to come out and address the elephant in the room and say something.
Yeah.
It was.
They had to do it right at the beginning.
They had to do it right at the beginning. It was a weird kind of disconnect between being like super, almost like emotional. While he was saying it.
He was almost crying.
Yeah. But then also kind of juxtaposed. Well, I can't even say the word. Mixed in with kind of the message that he was actually saying was kind of like quite corporate-y sounding.
Yeah.
So it's kind of halfway.
It's like what we said last time or the time before whenever we talked about Blizzard last. It's like I don't think that dude, I can't remember his name.
J. Allen Brack.
Yeah, I don't think he like made any specific decisions about this. I think he's much more in terms of like the actual content, isn't he, that they make?
Well, he's the head of Blizzard.
He's head of Blizzard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so awkward.
Yeah.
I think, like we said last, it's such an awkward situation to be in because are you gonna just, annoy these people and cut off a large part of your profit? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very, very tricky.
Luckily for me though, like since obviously they had the Diablo 4 trailer, which I thought the trailer was cool, obviously.
Yeah.
But then I thought the gameplay, I don't know, I thought it looked quite old. Like, it didn't look that much of an upgrade on 3, I don't think.
Yeah.
For me.
I think if you look at them together, they
probably
do look fairly different. I was going to kind of mention that, so one of the things was Diablo 4 being announced, much kind of darker feeling tone, much more drab kind of, which is what people were wanting from it.
Because then obviously, like on the face of it, Diablo 4 was announced, Overwatch 2 was announced, there was updates to Hearthstone and
World of Warcraft.
Oh, of course, the new expansion or whatever for that. But actually, like the Overwatch 2 stuff completely confused me because it seems like there's reskins of the characters and maybe a few new maps, but
so the way this kind of shaped out, and they didn't do a very good job of actually explaining it on the stage, and now it's all come out and it's kind of okay, this kind of makes sense, kind of, but not really. So what's happening is there is Overwatch 2, which is a brand new game, and that will have a load of PvE content, so story stuff with kind of 4-player missions that you kind of all do together with friends, and I think you can do stuff on your own as well. So that's going to have a whole storyline to it. essentially.
Yeah.
That is Overwatch 2. Now, there is also new maps, a new mode for the PvP stuff, which what Overwatch 1 has always been, new characters and stuff. That will all be in Overwatch 2, and that will also all be in Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like... It's odd. This is kind of like an expansion to Overwatch 1, but being called Overwatch 2. Because it's basically the single-player campaign for Overwatch, but they're just calling it Overwatch 2. So everything else, if you just want to play competitively, if you just want new maps and stuff, that's all going to come to Overwatch 1, like all of the existing characters have always come to there as well. So it's kind of a good thing in one way, because if you don't care for the PvE stuff and you just want to keep playing competitively and like with friends online, you just keep going as you are. You'll kind of get new characters, get the new maps, get the new modes, everything stays as it is. If you want to do some single player or kind of story related stuff, then you get Overwatch 2. I'm interested to see how they price it, whether it's a full price game or whether it's like a £40 game or a £30 game, because it is just the storyline stuff being added. So that will be interesting to see. The
other thing as well, obviously, I used to play World of Warcraft a lot, but I'm not really that interested in it anymore. But with Hearthstone, because a lot of when I just like watch YouTube or whatever while I'm eating or whatever, I'll watch a lot of Hearthstone YouTubers who are putting stuff on.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I've literally so the new mode is Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
And I just never bothered to learn what it is, how it works, and I just have lost all interest in Hearthstone, because literally everyone that I watch is just playing that.
Yeah.
And I literally I watch it and I'm like, this just seems boring.
See, interesting. I've had like the complete opposite reaction.
Really?
Yeah, I've been watching quite a lot of it, and I love watching it. I think it's great to watch. I've been really enjoying it. But it is, it's a complete new mode.
But it means it's good, because that was the only really real interaction I had with Blizzard at all. So I've kind of lost. Absolutely. So that all happened. Yeah.
So that was nice and dramatic. We've got a couple of other kind of smaller things as well. So like Hitman 2 is finally winding down. It's had years of kind of content being added, and IO have said that they're working on the next Hitman game. It's well underway, which is good. So it's good to see it continuing. We have this was a fun one that just happened recently, actually. There is an advert out. I don't know if you've seen it. I think it's all about... I think it's just a general PlayStation advert. It might be to do with PS Now. But there's an advert where there's loads of different characters interacting in the world and running through. You've got like Kratos running around. You've got Crash in a cart driving around. And it's the Crash bit which has been quite interesting in that he's driving along with... I think there's 2 or 3 of the characters driving in like a multi-story car park. Mm-hmm. And... he's got, like the Ooga Booga mask thing. Yeah. There's another mask in the background that no one's ever seen before. It's never existed in any game ever before. But suddenly in this advert, there's a new mask flying around. There's then also a new advert on the side of a bus, which has got Crash. And it's all about saying, this is PlayStation, kind of, here's loads of great games that are coming out. And it's a giant model of Crash on the side of this bus. And it's a model of Crash that we've never ever seen before. So I was kind of like, everyone's going... is a new Crash game coming? As in like a new, because they've done the remake of the 3. So potentially a new Crash game. Maybe at the Game Awards it would get announced.
Interesting.
Crash Team Racing was announced there.
When does Game Awards happen? Is it December?
Yeah. I think it's near the middle of December.
Cool.
That's fine. Or early to mid-December, I think. So a couple of weeks away. So that could be announced, which would be fun. On the topic of more kind of remakey coming back to things, there's Resident Evil 3 recently has been...
Is that still just rumour, though?
It's still just a rumour. Yeah, it's not official. But lots of sources are telling various people that a remake of Resident Evil 3...
Seems like it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. After the success of RE2, I think, makes a lot of sense. What else have we got here? We've got... Do we talk about the Game Awards at all? The nominations have come out.
Nominations,
yeah. What we'll do is let's we'll do that as a separate thing.
We'll do it when it comes.
Yeah. Closer to the time, cool. I think we'll do an in-depth one on that, and we can kind of generally talk about the Game Awards, etc. As we lead up to the Game of the Year, which we're going to have to start discussing soon.
Nice.
Herman Holst is now the head of Worldwide Studios. So he was the head of Guerrilla Games, and apparently he was actually.
He was like quite high up anyway. Wasn't
he was like deputy head of Worldwide Studios beforehand anyway. So it's kind of a natural progression after Sean Layden left. Shuhei Yoshida at the same time has gone to now look after third-party indie teams, which is great.
Yeah,
because awesome. I really remember feeling like at the beginning of the generation, the PS3 and then the beginning of PS4, there were loads of like these small indie games that came to PlayStation, often would come exclusively or come first. And then I feel like over the last couple of years, that's dried up a bit. Maybe I'm just not seeing them as much, but...
they were definitely not seeing them. Like they're definitely not being... like promoted or pushed as much in the store.
Yeah, because you've got to remember, there were like the times when it was like you had Firewatch and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture and a load of games that all came out in a couple of years for the first couple of years of PlayStation 4. And now I rarely feel like I hear of anything like that. So it'd be good for Shuhei to kind of get on board with that and sort that issue out. Because I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so, they're always good, those sort of games.
Yeah, it kind of ticks you over and it keeps you going. Then I've written down here, it's not directly related to PlayStation, but Stadia has launched.
Did it?
Yes, kind of. Google Stadia, their streaming service.
Cool.
From what I've seen, people are saying this is the best streaming service so far. But
you'd hope so. Like
because
that's all it is.
There's a big but though. Yeah. It's still really not prime. It's not ready.
No,
everyone's kind of said that I've seen.
Well, it was all botched. Actually, like delivering stuff on time.
All sorts of issues of trying to actually get started with it. So
especially when there's a lot of people that actually paid extra for like the
Founders Edition.
Yeah, the Founders Edition. Them coming out later than.
Yeah, so ridiculous. A bit of a mess.
Still like that controller. I still really like the look of the controller.
Yeah, it is a good looking controller. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's one of those things. It's good for it to do well because then hopefully it will push Sony. Well, Microsoft are doing quite a lot of work on that side anyway.
I feel like it is the future. Like that is where it's going to go. But I just don't think the world has the infrastructure for that yet. No,
I think we're still quite a way away from that. And even like there's a couple of tests that have been done where they're like, with a really great internet, here, stream this Red Dead Redemption 4K, Red Dead Redemption 2 in 4K, and then it turns out that it's not 4K. It's not, the quality isn't even there, even if you've got like a perfect internet connection. So there's obviously a lot of teething issues to start. But you're right, I agree as well. I think it is the future. But maybe a couple of years.
I reckon at least 5.
Yeah. So that those are the main couple of things I think that happened in the last couple of weeks. The other two, well, what were you going to say?
I don't know if it was what you were going to say as well. Like PlayStation specific. Did we talk about the little DualShock 5?
Ooh, I didn't note that down. Good point.
It just came to my head. I was thinking of PlayStation.
Absolutely.
There's a little leak, wasn't there?
Yes, this THICC controller.
THICC boy.
Yeah, it is. The second I saw the schematics, so there are to fill you in, there's schematics online, which are reported to be for the DualShock 5. People have done some comparisons, putting them two next to each other.
Seems like I think the three things that came to my head were. I think they said the triggers seem a bit bigger.
Yeah.
The trigger. So
I think L1 and R1 are smaller, but the
R2, trigger's bigger. And I feel like I read that the actual sticks were a bit smaller.
Shorter. I think shorter is the thing. I think ever so slightly. Which I think people like longer sticks, but I don't know.
You can buy like extenders.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we'll see.
The third thing, obviously, that it's a thick. It is. It looks chunky.
The way I the first thing I thought when I saw it was take the DualShock 4 and merge it with like the shape of the Xbox One controller,
Yeah,
or the or the Switch, the Pro controller,
yeah.
like merge them and just just bulk it out a bit, which I'm hoping it's a good thing, because a little bit more substantial something holding, and as long as it fits your hand.
Obviously, I think so. Touchpad's still there.
Touchpad's there, doesn't wrap over, so it looks like it's just a almost rectangular button on the front.
Also looks like, did you read this as well, that the light bar looks like it might be gone?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That was a big thing, which
I'm hoping that will like save some battery.
I'm sure it will.
It must do.
Yeah. The rumours were as well.
Big old light.
Yeah. The rumours are that there is a much bigger battery in it as well.
Awesome.
So that would be great.
That's like, because I really like the Dualshock 4.
Yeah.
But the two things I don't like about Dualshock 4 are the battery life, which I think is poor.
Yeah.
And the I think the triggers are made quite cheaply.
Yeah.
Having had one or two that are dodgy and like taking controllers apart, there's the tiniest little spring that's keeping them working.
Yeah, absolutely. I've taken so many apart, and it's so easy to lose those little kind of.
Well, I took some out on purpose because some of them, mine were sticking.
Ah, I see.
Because I think my brother was basically like abusing Star Wars Battlefront when it came out originally, and so I had to do some surgery, but then they just died.
Yeah.
I care more about the DualShock 5 than the box, for sure.
What the
actual play, what it
looks like. Oh, absolutely. I like when those leaks kind of came out, and you kind of saw this come out. I was like, oh, this is so exciting.
Yeah,
even though we're just looking at like a wireframe of a controller.
I know that they'll obviously just come out with like probably one color. Obviously it'll be black, and then sometimes they bring out like one or two, don't they?
When the PS4 launched, you had the red, the blue, and the black.
Yeah, that's it.
And then white came later, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I remember on my launch console I got the Shadowfall one, which had the camera and 2 black controllers.
Nice.
And I think I bought the blue one extra.
Yeah.
I don't know why I bought 3 controllers and not 4. But
here, interesting question. Not really thought about this. Will the DualShock 4 work on the PlayStation 5? I feel like it's got to, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't.
Interesting. I hadn't even thought of that.
So that I think what I would love to see them go back to. So I think it was back with the PS3. You could connect up to 8 controllers.
Right.
I think that's right. It was 6 or 8. You could definitely have more move. You could have like 8 move controllers. So if they had a game, like a multiplayer game, you could use them. The PS4 though, you can only connect 4. So I'd love to see them bring back more 4 if you've got local multiplayer type games.
I remember that. Was it the N64 that you could control? Wasn't it like? Was it? I feel
16
like
or something.
You could get something crazy.
Yeah,
it was like a little adapter you could plug in, and
I think you're right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, DualShock 5. Very excited to see.
Super excited about that.
What happens
Love that.
With the lack of the light bar. I'm interested to see how that plays into PSVR and existing PS4 games when you're doing backwards compatibility.
Well, that'll be, if it doesn't work with PSVR, that'll be why the DualShock 4 has to continue.
Because the PSVR will be working with the PlayStation 5. They've confirmed that.
So DualShock 4, that must be like a confirmation that DualShock 4 will work.
Yeah.
Obviously, newer games, it will have to like just be like, it won't have the little special rumble or whatever. But
I wonder if they have a way with the PlayStation 5 and the new camera that they include with it, or if it is included or not. Yeah. And then the new controller, if even with using PSVR, it can still detect the controller in the same 5. In the same way without the light bar. So they've managed to make it work without.
Because I'm always annoyed at how much DualShock 4's cost even now. Like the way they hold their value.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be some serious.
Yeah. So they are
the 5.
They are on Amazon. Is it normally about 50 quid?
Yeah, I think you can get them for like £45.
Yeah.
Brand new. I'll have a quick check now.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see like
£60.
60. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 60. I'd say between 60 and 80.
£44.99 for a black DualShock 4 controller.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Because obviously you've got the Xbox has their Elite controller, which is like so cool.
Is that the one that's modular?
Yes, you can like take bits off it and change it. I think that's like 120, 130 pounds.
Yeah. I'm so tempted, but then our problem is I just treat them so badly.
Yeah,
that's just drop them, and I'm like, no.
You get frustrated in a game, you chuck it across the room.
Or you bite it.
Yeah, no one's ever done that before.
Sorry, God, what were you?
No, that was
that one of the things.
That was definitely an important point from the last couple of weeks. And I think actually I'll save this point, because I think I was actually going to ask you about something with one of the games we played. So two other things I had here were the main two things, which kind of links into what we were playing for the last couple of weeks. So 2 games launched over the last few weeks, which was Death Stranding and hold on, you're going to have to say the name, because what is the actual name?
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Okay. Yeah, so those 2 games have launched over the last couple of weeks, and I have a feeling both of us have been playing them.
Yes.
So do you want to go first and say kind of what you've been playing?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather save that one till the last. So I've got 2 other games. Yeah, I'll just quickly go because I've talked about them before. But, so I finished 2 games before I started playing Fallen Order. So I finished Arkham City.
Okay, excellent.
I got to that. Did a lot of the side quests as well, because I wanted to. I like those; they're good fun.
Yeah. Get a few trophies,
like the Bane one, Deadshot. The Bane one's super disappointing.
Is it?
Basically, the quest is you have to destroy all these Titan containers that are all around the city.
Yeah.
And so you do that, and then you go back to him, and I think he basically you agree with him that you'll destroy 6, he'll destroy 6, and then that's cool. Yeah. But Bane, what he does is actually he takes all 6 of them and he's got them in this place with him, and then a load of people come in to try and steal them. You fight them with Bane, which is quite cool. Yeah. Then he tries to double cross you, but you basically just like lock him up in a cutscene. You don't even fight him. So I was like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arkham City. Tell me though, how has it held up?
Oh, really well.
Really well.
Really, really well.
Okay.
There's like a good the Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
There's a boss fight with him, which is very cool, where you sort of have to like drink a bit of the demon's blood and you start going crazy and it takes you off, and there's like a gliding challenge, and then you fight him in a boss fight, which is really cool. It's kind of the Scarecrow part of this, and I forgot there's no Scarecrow in Arkham City. Well, there's like Easter eggs and stuff, but there's no actually. He's not. Oh, well, unless I've like just not found it. I'm pretty sure he's not in it. But there's loads of cool stuff. Like there's a part where you like just little things like this, where there's a part where there's a big thing where Batman's got this disease in him and the Joker's got it, and you've got this cure, and that's how the kind of end game goes. And there's a little side mission you can do where you save Vicky Vale from she's the news reporter.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
In the thing, and she's in a helicopter. They get shot down, and you save her, and then there's this weird thing, and I always think every time I do play this game, I think it's a glitch where you save her, put her down, then you look up in the background. There's the Mad Hatter, who's like a kind of side villain, who literally is just like from Alice in Wonderland, right? And he's like on a rooftop over the side, and you're like, what the hell? Yeah. And you always think it's kind of like a glitch. And then, so you do that little mission, it finishes, and then you get another side mission that pops up saying, and you get a message from Oracle saying, oh, there's a cure for the disease. We found this cure, we'll drop it in. And so it gets dropped onto a rooftop nearby. You go up, Batman takes this cure out, injects himself with it, and immediately passes out. And basically you then... you've been like, it's a trick by Mad Hatter, and you're taken, and you've got to fight, and you're like hallucinating. You're on this like big clock that's like in some weird space, and you're fighting all of his enemies, and you beat him. It's such a cool little like.
They love a good like hallucination type thing, don't they?
It's all like that, yeah, and just a really cool game.
Because I'm right in thinking that Arkham Asylum was, it's much more of a contained area that you're just going around.
I mean, this is a lot smaller than I remember it.
Oh, I was going to say, it's City a huge open world.
It isn't, well, kind of, yeah. But it's a lot smaller than
Yeah.
I remember it being. I've got a feeling Arkham Knight's massive compared to it.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
And the end of the game's amazing. The end of this game is absolutely incredible.
Who's the main... Was that a spoiler?
Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Dr. Hugo Strange is the villain, not Marvel's Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
He's the main villain, but then there's he was working for someone else. And then you deal with that.
Plot twist.
But that's kind of not very good. Well, no, it is good because whatever, but...
Yeah.
You defeat his plan, and then it's like now you have to deal with the Joker because it's Batman.
Right, of course.
And then obviously there's the big thing that happens with the Joker at the end, which is very good.
Excellent.
So Arkham City, amazing.
Yeah.
I'll move on to Arkham Knight. I'll give myself a little breather for a bit, but I always have to replay them all. I've never actually replayed Arkham Knight. I've only played it once.
Ah, cool. Okay, it'll be interesting. I'll be very interested to hear your thoughts on it. Because I feel like, would I be right in thinking that the sentiment was that it was good, but not?
It's just the Batmobile stuff.
Oh, is it? That's the main
Batmobile
issue, is it?
like,
Yeah. Okay.
Too much of it.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing I did was I finished Outer Worlds.
Yes. Right. Talk me through this, because this is a game which, when it got announced, I was like, "Ooh, this is interesting," because of the fact it's kind of just like shitting on Fallout in like the trailers and stuff, and it was like, right, okay, well, we like Obsidian, they're pretty cool. So what's your overall thoughts?
I really liked it. I really liked this game.
Yeah.
Again, like I said last time when I mentioned it, I didn't think I was going to like it. I'm not really huge on the like art style of it. Really, I got a bit frustrated with it.
Yeah,
like that. But really fun game. I really liked the combat, even though I know a lot of people didn't really.
Okay.
I just liked how varied it was and how differently you could approach things.
Yeah.
I mean, I completed the game. I wasn't really that impressed with the storyline of it too much, so finishing it was okay.
Yeah.
Like you have two big quest lines that you can go through.
Yeah.
But the end of the game is the same. You fight the same boss, but that it's working for a different person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I don't think I'll go back to it at all.
Yeah, sure.
But really enjoyed it. Definitely pick it up.
I was going to say, is it one of the kind of things where the overall story is fine, but there's a lot of more interesting characters you meet, or kind of, because you have companions. That's what
I made sure that I did every companion quest. So there's a good trophy for that as well. But I made sure I did all of them, and they were much more interesting than the main story, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's other little factions that you can go through and do their quests that I think are better.
Yeah.
Interesting. I really enjoyed it, and definitely pick up. And obviously, it's probably the last Obsidian game that we'll be playing in a while. So.
Yes, for us PlayStation boys.
Going over to the dark side of Microsoft.
Indeed.
Right. So, do you want to talk about stuff first? No.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, let's now they've gone through the news and we've gone through those couple of games you played. Let us play a little game.
Nice.
Let us play a little game. Now, have a little breather. Sit back. Relax. Put on the fire. Get a glass of whiskey.
I mean, enjoy. The nights are drawing in.
They are. It's almost dark now. What time are we recording?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock
in the afternoon, and it is grey.
Yeah. The light is fading.
Like you said, light the fire.
Yeah.
Roast some chestnuts. Because it's nearly that time of year.
Yeah, it is. It is. Right, we're going to play a game we haven't played for a couple of episodes.
Nice.
Which I think we called it Review Bombed.
Yeah,
that's what we called it. Yeah.
I forgot that.
So we're doing Review Bomb. Now this is, I have a collection of 5 games here. And I've gone on to Metacritic, and I have gone on to the user scores, user reviews, and I've looked at ones which are 0. And I've kind of...
So these people... So just remind me by this as well. On Metacritic's user reviews, they have a way of checking that you've played the full game, don't they?
Absolutely. You have to verify that you finished the game. No, not in the slightest. Anyone can. You can literally just log on. You don't even need to log on. I don't think. I think you can just go on the website, and click 10 or click 0. I think you have to log in to type a response.
Excellent.
To type a review. So we've got 5 games here. Let's go through these, and what I want you to do is try and guess the game. Okay. Now I've doctored these a little bit to take out if they say the game's name or the developer, kind of things like that. And one of them, actually, I wanted to get this game in here, but there wasn't actually a 0 review, but there was 2 2-star reviews.
Okay, cool.
2 out of 10 reviews. So I've kind of put them together.
So we've done this in the past. I guess each one as we go, don't we? Or should we do it where like I write them down and then we go back through and
Yeah, we can do.
Should do it that way?
Yeah.
Let's
try that. Let's try that. Okay. So, first one now.
Then you can play along at home.
Yes, I'm going to try and read this as best I can.
Okay.
I want to include all of the grammatical errors
Nice.
and all of the spelling mistakes as well. Okay, here we go. First one. 0 out of 10. Performance on the base consoles are just absurd. It can't even maintain 30 FPS in many areas with a lot of freezes and texture load in issues, which also happen with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X versions. How did we come from Arkham Knight's amazing looking game on Unreal Engine to this 20 to 29 FPS? This is just more soulless trash spawned by Disney and EA. To give you a clue, just look at the characters' facial expressions on these characters. Damn.
Damn.
D-A-M. Okay. So a lot of performance issues.
Cool.
Soulless trash.
My guesses in my head went through a few things.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I've settled on one.
You've settled on one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. How did we come from Arkham Knight's amazing looking game? Okay, next up. Okay, here we go. This is one of my favourites, I think.
Okay.
I signed up for this shit. Stupid level design. Terrible red effects driving me crazy. If you want to understand the story of this game, you have to read and read the gorgeous notes. I would rather reading a stupid book than playing this brainless game. Cons. No plot, only shooting, and poor telekinesis as well as labyrinths. Not a beautiful and not a sexy protagonist. Of the benefits, a good reflection. 0 out of 10.
Nice. Cons. Not a sexy protagonist.
Yeah. I like as well, if you want to understand the story of this game, you have to read and read the capitals gorgeous notes.
I like, the main thing that I look for when buying a game is a sexy protagonist.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all I look for.
Yeah. A beautiful and sexy protagonist.
Yeah.
Okay. This one I've got to make some amendments as I go on the fly with this. Okay. 0 out of 10. This game is disguised under an epic illusion. It seems the map is very big, but where most elements repeat. Too many repetitive side missions. And the main missions are very repetitive as well. In addition, the environment is very repetitive. Anyway, everything is repetitive, making the game fatiguing. I remember number 2 was so enjoyable, while you never expect an experience like these characters in number 4. This franchise has lost the soul of itself. The only left is a coat. When I was playing the game, I always asked myself, why Sorry. I always asked myself, why I have to wear like this character? This part is not even good for me, but I am soon bored with Flat's sea face, and you will soon be bored with the battle under same pattern. This is a game, lack of soul, full of repetitive mechanism, and will be forgotten soon. Never compare this one with GTA 5, which is still 10 times better than this one in quality. IMO, the number 3 and 4 shouldn't be in the franchise.
Ooh, I'm struggling.
I know, it's an absolute epic.
I like how many times they said the word repetitive.
Yes.
That was good comedy. I think that might be a joke, that one. That's good comedy.
Yeah, it is good. Anyway, everything is repetitive, making the game fatiguing.
So
when I was playing the game, I always asked myself, why I have to wear like this character?
Why I have to wear like this character?
Oh God.
Oh, okay. So
this is a game, lack of soul, full of repetitive mechanism, and will soon be forgotten.
Was this the one that said? Oh no, it was the last one that said just shooting, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. This one says, where was it?
Battles. Something about battles.
Something about battles. The gameplay part is bad for me, but I am soon bored with flat sea face, and you will soon be bored with battle under same pattern.
Interesting. I'm a little bit stumped now. I'll have to make a guess.
Yeah. We can come back.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Okay. I think I'm looking forward to this one.
Cool.
Introduce politics in a video game.
Uh-oh.
Less than 60 hours of gameplay. Lots of bugs, plus a copy-paste gameplay from another franchise. What a chore! In capitals. The game is boring AF. It feels like a Fallout 4 for the poor. The open areas are blend.
Are blend?
Yes. It's so bad when I'm reading it. I'm trying to So you have to actively say it wrong. The open areas are blend and small and full of copy-paste content. You see the same generic enemy, bandits, or animals every 10 meters. The story? ? Totally forgettable. Can't remember a single noteworthy character. The developers don't have any good writers now. The game is a train wreck. Never I was this disappointed. Even the $1 for Game Pass was too much. I'd rather go back to the average Fallout 4 than continuing this nightmare of a game. All characters, NPC or buildings look the same. Fallout 4 plays like a shit wasteland and has more variety than a game that play in the shit space with multiple planets. Jesus Christ! Worst game I played this year. Gunplay is awful, voice acting cheesy, and have I already said how awful and generic the writing is?
Signed, Bethesda.
0 out of 10.
That's a great review.
It's just the incomprehensible parts of it.
So is the last one here the 2 out of 10 one?
This is the 2 out of 10.
The last one.
Yeah,
that was a great review.
That one was great, wasn't it? 0 out of 10. Yeah, out of what? What? It's right. I've seen you'd already written down.
I'd already guessed that.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
I was looking forward to this game. I have the number 15 and number 17, but this game sucks. There are a lot of faults in the game, like the tractors stop for no reason. No one field you can plant fully for 100% in the beginning and ends. There are pieces that don't plant for what I don't now. The previous games were a lot better. I play the Europe map and it sucks. Sorry to say, if it don't bring a update to better the game, I don't buy no more of these games. It's all one sentence with no punctuation. I'll give you that one again.
Okay.
I was looking forward to this game. I have the number 15 and number 17, but this game sucks. There are a lot of faults in the game, like the tractor stop for no reason. No one field you can plant fully for 100% in the beginning and ends. There are pieces that don't plant for what I don't want now. The previous games were a lot better. I played the Europe map and it sucks. Sorry to say, if it don't bring the update to better the game, I don't buy no more of these games.
Okay. I'm cheating on that one a bit because I actually wrote that review.
Damn it.
I'm really struggling with number 3.
Number 3. I'll give you it again. Because it is a masterpiece of writing.
Because in my head I'm guessing it's like a number 4 of a series.
It is. It actually says it is number 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Oh. This game is disguised under an epic illusion. It seems the map is very big, but where most elements repeat. Too many repetitive side missions, and the main missions are very repetitive as well. In addition, the environment is very repetitive. Anyway, everything is repetitive, making the game fatiguing. I remember number 2 was so enjoyable, while you never expect an experience like this character in number 4. This franchise has lost the soul of the character. The only left is a coat. When I was playing the game, I always asked myself, why I have to wear like this character? The pirate part is not bad for me, but I am soon bored with flat sea face, and you will soon be bored with the battles under same pattern. This is a game, lack of soul, full of repetitive mechanism, and will be forgotten soon. Never compare number 3, even with GTA 5, which is still 10 times better than number 4 in quality. In my opinion, the number 3 and number 4 shouldn't be in this franchise.
Okay.
0 out of 10.
0 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I think I've got answers.
Okay, let's go for it. So the first one, which has the performance issues, the soulless trash spawned by Disney and EA.
So I think that must be Fallen Order.
That is 0 out of 10. 0 out of 10.
Wars, Jedi, Fallen Order.
That's the one. Well done.
Awesome.
1 point.
I've got to say, I completely agree. Dreadful,
Absolutely. Dreadful. Just look at the characters' facial expressions of these characters. Damn. Okay, number two. Shit, stupid level design. Terrible red effects. Not a sexy protagonist.
I'm gonna guess Control.
Yeah, I think it's the telekinesis, which is the bit.
Also, it was actually the not a sexy protagonist.
No,
whenever I've seen you play Control, I think she's not sexy.
She's not sexy.
You're not playing as a sexy character. What's going on?
Not a beautiful and not a sexy protagonist. Of the benefits, a good reflection. Right, number 3.
I think this is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Yes, you are correct. I added a bit in the second time I said about pirate,
the
which
pirates bit got me.
I
was thinking Assassin's
I didn't
Creed,
say it
but
before.
Then I think in my head I was just like, surely you can't think that Assassin's Creed 4 was bad.
0 out of 10.
0 out of 10.
The franchise has lost the soul of the character.
Assassin's Creed has lost the soul.
Yeah. When I was playing the game, I always asked myself why I have to wear like this character.
Why?
Okay, number 4.
Is that Worlds? You said it.
I did say it. You had written it down before.
I had written it down already.
So. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Worst game I played this year. Jesus Christ.
That was literally written by the head of Bethesda as well.
Yeah. The game is boring AF. It feels like a Fallout 4 for the poor.
For the poor.
Oh god! And then the last one, the huge single sentence.
I don't know. My guess was like a farming simulator game.
Yes.
2018.
Oh, 2019.
He mentioned
he had 15 and 17.
Yeah, I assumed maybe
he gets every.
He only plays the odd numbers.
Exactly.
Excellent.
So poorly written, but so wonderful. Excellent. Well, that was 5 out of 5. Well done, Chris.
I got it. I said Farming Simulator 2018.
Oh, sorry. You're right. So 4 out of 5. 80%. Still good.
That's good.
That's good. You're still getting
8 out of 10.
Yeah, you're getting a green score for that.
That's a green score.
Yeah, I think over 75 is green.
Okay.
When we're being reviewers on Metacritic. So cool. Good job. People will forget about you as an 80%.
Oh,
people will forget.
Undoubtedly.
You won't be really thought about anything special, but when you came out, you were respectable.
I'm happy with that. Good fun.
Excellent. Right. So this brings us, I think, then onto the 2 big games that we've been playing over the last couple of weeks.
Big games.
I'll jump in first with
go.
mine. Yeah, so I have been pretty much exclusively since we last recorded playing Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Over the last.
It's funny because you mentioned 2 games earlier that I think inspired Death Stranding a lot in Firewatch and Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, because you just walk around.
Yes, exactly. Walking simulators. Especially Rapture, because that is just walking, and this is all you're doing.
And there's invisible dead people in that one as well, isn't there?
There is. We can see the inspiration.
Come on,
Kojima. Kojima. Pick it up. Yeah, I've been playing Death Stranding pretty much every moment I've had available. I think I'm about just over 28 hours into it now. I remember saying to you, I think the last time you saw me playing it, I'd just finished chapter 2 or episode 2 as they call it. I think they call it episodes. And then I start episode 3, and there's a whole new area of the map you go to, and I've now been playing that for the last 18 hours or so.
Which is really funny because I have actually started Death Stranding.
Yes, yeah, you've played the beginning as well, haven't you?
I'm in chapter 2 and I've played for about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So at my rate, I'll probably overtake you in the story.
Absolutely. I have seen a lot of people say that chapter 3 is basically a third of the game in terms of like how much you can do. And this is one of the things which I found so interesting about it, is that I might be I might be not right by saying this, but I can't think off the top of my head a game where I have been so happy doing nothing. Literally doing nothing. There are the premise of Death. Well, I say the premise of Death Stranding. I'm not even going to attempt to try and explain it. Essentially, some cataclysmic thing has happened called the Death Stranding, and now the world of the living and the dead are being merged together. And what you are tasked with doing is going from the east of America to the west, and bringing online all of the buildings that you kind of come across,
like connecting the little groups of
exactly.
Because humans are kind of grouped together in small communities, haven't they?
Yeah. So there are cities which you kind of go to like a little opening for. You don't actually go into the cities or anything, but you can see the buildings in the distance that are walled off. So communities have kind of fractured themselves.
Why do they not come out of their community? Why do they stay in? Why don't they go out into the real world?
Because they're scared. They're scared of the BTs and the mules. The mules. You have BTs, which are these kind of shadowy monsters floating in the air, which are connected by an umbilical cord. And they are people who are, as far as I'm aware, they are pretty much people who haven't fully gone over to the dead. They're kind of trapped in limbo almost.
And they want to
they grab you and they pull you into their tarry, oily looking mess. So as you go across this unbelievably beautiful looking America, which is it kind of looks more like Iceland than America. You're traveling across, you're just trying to go from building to building to settlement, and you're kind of bringing them online into this network called the chiral network. And each time someone connects to the network, all of the information that is in that city or in their databases is all shared then with everyone else. So the idea is we're trying to spread information and remember the past and kind of see what we can learn from that. And then as you go along, you also find what they call preppers, who are kind of just maybe one person living on their own, or maybe a couple of people who are dotted around the map. You've got these main hubs which you go and kind of connect, and you've got these individual people who will generally give you something useful if you help them out, deliver an order for them, or kind of pick something up for them. And you want to connect them. Some of them are quite resistive, so they don't really want to join the network. They'll kind of say, right, well, I'm kind of scared of big corporations and stuff. So you have to kind of prove your worth to them by helping them out. And then eventually they'll come around and join the network. And they'll give you, normally the preppers will give you something. It can be something which doesn't actually change the game. Like I've just recently got a harmonica, which is quite fun. When you sit down, you can just start playing, and your little baby that's with you. Haven't even mentioned why you've got a baby with you. You can just start playing. But then other ones give you things like an exoskeleton to help you carry more deliveries. So that's the premise so far.
But we knew that because, as Kojima said like months ago, he said it's a Strand game.
Yeah.
So obviously it's that.
Exactly.
The first ever Strand game.
It's a new genre. That is I think probably the simplest way you can describe what's happening in the game. Yeah. You're going from one side of America to the other, making deliveries and connecting all of the settlements. And
it's sort of there's stealth sections, isn't there, when you're trying to go through the BTs?
Yeah, so as you're going along, there are, I think it's fair to say there's three main threats to your journey. You have the BTs, which are these shadowy monsters, and they, as you go along, whenever it rains, there's a thing called time fall, which is basically when it's raining, all of a sudden everything grows really quickly. So you see like plants like grow up and then die and wilt and stuff. And that happens when BTs are around. So when you're going through them, you need to be careful to avoid them. You can see them and then they disappear, and you can scan for them to then make them show up again, but then after a couple of seconds they'll disappear. So you kind of have to remember almost where they were. You've got to work your way around it. Often where they are is not just a case of, I can just walk around, because it's normally kind of in a valley or across a little mountainous bit that you need to get across. So It's not quite as easy as just being like, oh, I'll just walk around them, because there's loads of them as well. You have a mechanic there where as you get closer, you become more aware of them, and they can sense one, you making noise, and the second thing is you breathing. So you have a mechanic where you literally hold R1 and you hold your breath, and as you hold your breath, you run out of air and you have to let go and kind of get your breath back. So you have to manage that whilst you're kind of creeping through this area. That's one of the big threats, which is kind of that's the kind of showy off kind of threat in the game. It's quite like interesting whenever you encounter them. There's the mules, which are other people who, the way it's described is that they used to be people like porters in quotes, who are people who make deliveries. They used to do that, and they got addicted to doing it. They got addicted to delivering packages. So what they want now is every bit of cargo they can find, so they can hoard it themselves. And they are in little campments, kind of dotted around the map. And the second you go into kind of their area, it's kind of they have little poles up around in a circle around their camp. And the second you go in there, it searches for you, kind of it puts out a scan, and then they can kind of see where you are, and you need to kind of sneak your way around or try. You can fight them, but it's generally, you don't really want to. You kind of want to leave them alone if you can. But they're pretty relentless. With once they get wind of you, they are coming for your stuff. Interestingly though, I'm fairly certain if you don't have any cargo on you, if you have no deliveries with you, no boxes on you, it's just you as a character, and you walk in there, they don't do a thing.
Oh, really?
They're not actually, they're not trying to hurt you. They just want cargo and deliveries. So you can actually walk through if you don't have anything there, which I thought was quite a fun little kind of piece for them.
So when they start attacking you, obviously I've seen in trailers that you can like hit them and do stuff like that. Do the buttons to that only really come up when they are there?
No. So if you press square as you're walking along, he will just swing a right punch. I think it's square. You can then hold your cargo in with L2 and R2. You can hold boxes in either hand, and you can use them to swing and kind of knock people out. So the punching takes a couple of punches to get them down. If you use the cargo, it's pretty much a one hit, kind of if you just slam a box around someone's face. That'll knock them out. Later in the game, you begin to get additional weapons. However, it's heavily implied you do not want to kill these people. You do not want to kill people in this game, which is fascinating for a big AAA, huge budget game. The last threat, which you kind of get as you play, which I think is the biggest threat, is just the world itself. The mountainous kind of landscape, the rivers, everything in this world is kind of out to get you, and it's your job to just work your way through and power on. There's a lot of cliffs you're going to have to be going up. You're going to have to drop down ravines, and you have loads of different tools at your disposal, like ladders and ropes that you can then kind of place down to help you get around. But the world is incredibly designed, so beautiful, as I said earlier. Just to kind of every now and then you can just sit down in the game to rest. Sometimes it's quite nice to just sit down and just kind of have a little look around.
Just chill out. Exactly.
It is a very, I would say it is a very chill game. In the moment-to-moment gameplay is pretty relaxed in terms of the idea of what you're doing. It can get really stressful very quickly though when you are hauling tons of boxes on your back, and all of a sudden you can't make your way across somewhere, or you kind of fall over and all of it falls off, and that can be a nightmare. But yeah, what I kind of started with when talking about this was I can't think of a game where I have just sat there and achieved nothing in the story and still felt so gratified from what I've done. And all I've been doing is just making deliveries for these people in these settlements and kind of getting my connection up with them. Some of them, I've got to the point where I've done, you get a star, you get these stars, which is kind of how much they trust you almost. And I've like maxed them out for loads of them, but I still just do deliveries for them because I just feel like I want to. They're like, oh, I need to send some medicine to this guy. Can you help me? I'm like, all right then, no problem.
Kind of like in like Angry Birds, where you get the stars at the end.
Yes, exactly like Angry Birds. That is the perfect analogy.
It's an Angry Birds clone.
And yeah, I think there is this is not a game for everyone. I know a lot of people say that, but I think it is so true. This is a slow-paced game. You are not... I still haven't killed anyone, I don't think, in the game, and I'm 28 hours in. So don't go in this game thinking this is all guns blazing, super exciting all the time. This is monotonous. It is slow, but it's there's something about it which has its hooks under my skin, and I can't... Every time I play it, I can't just stop doing the deliveries and stuff, the mundane stuff. Somehow it makes that really interesting. So I think I need to... I've kind of made a conscious effort now that I'm going to stop doing all these extra deliveries and actually just crack on with the storyline a bit, which still involves making deliveries to various places. But yeah, so far, absolutely loving it.
Awesome.
Yeah, really, really. It's just such an intriguing game as well. Still so mysterious, even after 28 hours, which is so fun, kind of having to kind of unravel it as you go along. And there's I haven't even talked about this, the what you were saying, the Strand genre of game.
Yeah.
Just the idea that there's a big aspect to the game is that it is a shared world that you're living. It's kind of a shared server you have with, let's just say, I don't know how many actually, but let's say 50 people are all playing in the same world as you. You don't see them, but you see all of the structures that they leave. So if someone builds a bridge over a river, once you've connected that area to the network, all of a sudden that bridge will be there and you can use it and you can like it and be like, oh, good job. And then everything you leave in places will be then left for other people. So I've spent a lot of time in this area just building a road right across this map, which makes it so much simpler to get around. It takes an age to build roads, but I've just spent the last 10 hours just building this super long road, and now whenever I play, I get little messages being like, oh, so-and-so used your road, so-and-so used your road, so-and-so liked your road and stuff. And there's a sense of community without even talking to anyone. And you can leave little signs in places to warn people, BTs are coming up here, or there's a sudden drop here. So you can kind of help each other out.
Can you troll people with that as well? Can you literally put those anywhere?
You can put them anywhere.
Yeah.
But it would I don't know how trolly you can get with it, other than
because Dark Souls has that.
Yes, with Dark Souls you can write things and stuff. So you can be like, there's nothing coming up,
and then
there's something. Yeah. So it kind of, because you can't write stuff, you can only leave a sign. The only way you could really troll, I think, is by putting a BT sign here and not being any BTs. Yeah. So you could be but then at the same point, BT's only around when there's rain. So if there's no rain, there's no BTs. Cool. But yeah, you absolutely. And people do spam signs everywhere, be like, keep on going. And I'm like, oh God, leave me alone for a second. But yeah, very intriguing game. Stunning to look at. I think it might be the best looking game I've kind of seen on the PlayStation so far. And yeah, I'm very excited to continue and see where the story develops and goes. I want some answers for a lot of these weird things that have happened. What is the death? Why did the Death Stranding happen? Will I get an answer? Who knows? It'd be nice if it did. Great cast as well. Really great cast. Amazing cast. I've been very surprised by Margaret Qualley's character, Mama. I haven't actually met her yet, I don't think, in the game, but I don't know whether it's just because she's maybe she doesn't have I think it's the first game thing she's done, but the way she delivers her lines is great. I think it doesn't feel like she's reading a script, she's actually acting it, which sounds weird to say that, but often in a game you can just tell someone's reading a script type of thing. She's great. I've really enjoyed her character so far, and yeah, that's awesome. That's kind of my thoughts on Death Stranding so far. Yeah.
Right. So the other obviously big one's the one that I've been playing. I think I'm a bit over halfway through it or so. I've been playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes. This how did we come from Arkham Knight's amazing looking game on Unreal to this 20 to 29 FPS?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, So obviously, basically, very quick thing. It's a third person action Metroidvania, blah 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 blah.
It's a Star Wars single player.
Star Wars lightsabers. And I think basically you go around. There are 4 main planets in the game, and you go and do different missions on each one. And there's different. The main missions you'll do will either be going to find these specific Jedi temples where
Yep.
there are big puzzles inside in order for you to progress the main story. And then the other parts are missions that will do slightly different things and to have you going through a Imperial base on Kashyyyk or what's the other planet? Zepho.
Yeah.
Zepho, I think was the other one. And it's really good. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I was I remember when we saw the trailers and everything and we recorded, we were sort of a little bit like, not too sure
bit
about
down
this.
on it.
A little bit down on it. And there is definitely stuff that I'm not a huge fan of in the game, but a lot of what I'm playing, I'm really enjoying.
Yeah.
Obviously the negatives, there are some issues of like just like dropping the frame rate here and there.
Yeah.
Some of the character models, like one in particular, just looks absolutely dreadful.
Yeah. It's
Sarah, I think, or Sarah, I can't remember.
All they need to do is just make those eyes smaller.
Yeah,
it would look
weird,
so much
like,
better.
What else is bad in the game?
What's bad about this game?
I think so you fall off a lot of stuff a lot of the time. So you find I feel like I die like quite often just by like missing a jump or something.
Yeah.
But then when you come back, when you respawn,
Yeah.
I think it makes the game. You come back like within a second and it's great. But when you die in like combat, it takes literally like I don't know, like 2 or 3 minutes for the reload to happen. It's very annoying.
Oh, by the way, just on the topic of what you were saying about dying, I died in Death Stranding.
Oh, did
I'm
you?
not going to say what happens. Really interesting though.
Okay.
Really interesting.
Cool.
Totally unlike a death I've ever had in a game before, and it was just like you did, falling off. I was like walking
Always
along.
falling.
I was running away from someone, and there was just like a sudden drop off a cliff. I just fell off, and I was like, "Whoops!" Yeah, sorry, you were saying so.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what the other things that I'm not a big fan of in it are.
What's your thoughts on the combat?
Combat, I really love.
Okay,
I love the combat.
'Cause that's
so varied. It's so.
That's got to be one of the most important things about.
I mean, you'll find there's lots of sort of weird alien creatures that you'll fight, and they'll have different types of attacks. There's obviously stormtroopers.
Yep.
Some droids and bounty hunters and all these different types of enemies that will have different. Like there's obviously just normal grunt things that you can literally just kill in one hit with your lightsaber, and then there's guys that've got a little bit of shield. Then there's like stormtrooper commanders that are a little bit harder, and then there's the I think they're the Inquisitors who are in black with like purple energy weapons, and they can be a bit difficult if you
not mini, like almost mini bosses kind of.
Yeah, like kind of. Then there's obviously there's legendary creatures, the bounty hunters kind of bosses. There's the Ninth Sisters, who are the kind of, I think they're called the Ninth Sisters. They're kind of the main enemy. They're the kind of main villains of the game. So really varied enemies. Like you do parts where you fight like ATSTs just as actual like mini bosses in the game, which is super fun. I really like the combat. It's hard.
Yeah, this was something which has surprised me when you said this, and I've seen a couple of other people say. I think when you naturally look at a Star Wars single player game, you wouldn't expect it to be pretty brutal.
Yeah, but you can get overwhelmed very, very easily in this game, and I mean, so there are parts of it that made me I think my more recent times of the game have been very good, and I'm really enjoying where I'm up to and what I'm doing. But there were parts at the beginning where before like an update came out that really started to frustrate me. Like I had 2 times when I played the game, and then so the way I use my PlayStation is I watch YouTube on there, Netflix is on there, everything. And I sort of will come out of the game using the PlayStation button, go into YouTube, so it will suspend the game, play YouTube, play Netflix, whatever. Then I'll come back to it, and twice it happened to me that the game was just frozen. Yeah. And wouldn't start up, and I basically lost some progress. So it was very frustrating. I haven't had that issue since doing an update. Yeah. And that was quite a long time ago, but I have still had some frame rate stuff. So that was very irritating early on, and it made me very sort of frustrated as to how I
can imagine, especially at the beginning of the game and suddenly it's locking up.
Yeah, but the more I've gone on with it, the more I've really enjoyed it. Main things that I'm enjoying, the combat I've said I've really liked. Specific moments that I don't really want to spoil too much on this. There are some parts where you you'll do some like I don't know. I really don't want to spoil this bit, but you do something that you kind of you think you watch specific Star Wars films, like for example, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And you sort of look at some things and you think, oh, that'd be cool to do that. And this game does it, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
There's the little details, like for example, I said you fight ATSTs. The first time you fight one is in this sort of big hangar, and you start the fight, and I fought it for probably like 6 or 7 minutes, and I was like, oh, what is going? Like, how do I do? Because I'm like deflecting something back. I'm dodging out the way of bombs and rockets that it's firing at me, and I was like, man, what do I need to do here? And then I was like, oh, I'm just going to run at its legs and slice it up. And literally it went down so quick.
Nice.
And that's awesome. But then the little detail after where it falls over down and it's dead. And then I'm suddenly getting shot at. And I realised that there's a hatch on the top and the guy that was piloting it has jumped out and started attacking me. It's so cool.
So it's not just, that wasn't just an enemy type. Yeah. There was actually someone in there. It was
a dude in there that was shooting
nice
me.
Details.
Things like just the deflecting a bullet back and killing a stormtrooper in one hit is so good.
Yeah. Now, do you when you do that, do you need to time it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you hit L1 on the right time and it deflects it back and kills it. If you then hold it, if you then carry on holding L1, it will deflect the bullets but not back at them to kill them. Yeah. Unless someone stood right in front of you and they're in the way.
Naturally.
I think there is an upgrade that you can get. There's a skill tree and you get skill points for the experience, and you think you can upgrade so that it does a bit more deflecting back to them, which is cool. Just a quick couple of things that came to mind then. So obviously it's a story-based game, single player, no multiplayer, anything like that. Yeah. The story, it's very like cut and paste a Star Wars story, right? With you as a Jedi and these weird like Sith, non-Sith people that you're fighting. It's not breaking any ground or anything like that with the story. It's not really what you're there for at all. Which it is a bit disappointing for me because I do like stories. I think that I look for most really. Yeah,
we'll see. Hope maybe it picks up.
Yeah,
towards
maybe it does
as it goes on. Cast of characters in line with talking about the story then. Cast of characters then
they're all right. They're a bit forgettable. They're just a bit forgettable. Like Cal and BD1 are great. Okay, BD1 was a little robot. That's
Cal,
awesome.
I was kind of worried before the game came out because when you first kind of saw him, it was kind of like it kind of looks a bit almost generic-y kind of as a character.
He is.
But if he's got a bit of personality, then
well, I don't know. I don't really think he does. But
okay.
I haven't obviously not finished the game yet, so I'm hoping there's a bit more from him. Yeah. But you almost don't really need too much from him. Like there's a cool bit at the beginning when you go to the first Jedi temple and you meet BD1 and you just have like a race up the hill to get to it, which is cool.
BD1 seems pretty cool from what I've seen.
Yeah, BD1's great. Really cool little character. Yeah. I'm sure there was one other like slight negative that I wanted to say. Mention the story. I
know I had something I'd been feeling from the trailers. Again, I haven't played the game yet, but from when I was watching it and stuff, and I think I mentioned to you, and this might be the thing you were going to bring up, was that for me it looks quite floaty. Yeah. Kind of. Like there's not much impact to things happening, or the character kind of floats around a bit. Yeah, I don't know how to describe that.
So I think that's what I think that's what I was going to say. So it's for me, it's not so much that the character's quite floaty. I don't mind that too much because it's very Respawn with wall running. Yeah, kind of similar to how like Titanfall was and Apex Legends and stuff like that. Yeah. It's more when I'm hitting someone with a lightsaber and I kill them or an alien or something. It doesn't feel like it has the weight of you actually killing something, and that's kind of a grim thing to say, but like
it's a game that's giving you killing things.
It feels like I'm cutting through paper. Yeah, and I think I just feel like there needs to be a little bit more maybe like physical feedback on the controller with the rumble or whatever, or I don't know. It just doesn't feel like
some chunky
like
kind of.
There's a thing you can do where like if you're running through a place above where there's stormtroopers and they haven't seen you, if you jump down. A square prompt will come up and you can just one hit kill whoever it is, or unless it's a bigger enemy, I think. And that there's not even a big sort of like even in Assassin's Creed, kind of. Like in Assassin's Creed where you execute someone from above. Yeah, there's that kind of thing of like, boom, you hit.
Yeah, you kind of had the momentum. You feel the speed of it all happening.
It doesn't quite feel like that, and there's something a bit off, I think, there.
Yeah,
but when you're doing the combat, like, and you're not, it doesn't feel too bad. But
because I suppose I get what you kind of mean in that, like, this is a lightsaber. When this goes through something, it's kind of burning its way through something. It's not like a knife through butter type of thing. It's got a bit more like as it goes through. So yeah, I can see what you mean. If that's kind of, you're not getting the feedback there, then it kind of feels a bit flat almost with that.
I just want to finish on 3 really big positive bits.
Yes, absolutely.
That I think that kind of summarize why I think this game is really good.
Yes.
Third thing, this is not a massive thing, but if you're just in a part of the environment and you swing your lightsaber at something, it leaves a big like light mark. Like, I love that. Like, it's a big rock, and you swipe your lightsaber, and instead of it just bouncing off or cutting,
seeing a spark
through
kind
it or
of
anything, or even just a spark, you have that sort of gold line that goes up, and it's wicked. Absolutely love that.
I like how I think I've seen it either when I was watching you play or something, where like someone was spinning a lightsaber around and it cut the floor and stuff. There's like little things like that, which are really nice attention to detail.
I'm not sure which way around to do these. I think I'll do it this way. So this one, this is a moment in the game that, this isn't how it will always play out. So obviously it's not really a spoiler, but there's a part where you are going through an Imperial base on Kashyyyk, I think it is, and you're going through killing all these stormtroopers and everything. Yeah. Then you climb up and you're sort of hanging on the ledge, and you see ahead of you there's an Inquisitor and a like a stormtrooper commander looking out over this ledge, and the commanders are they always have these like little dialogue lines when they first see you that are always something a little bit cocky and sort of like, oh, I'm going to take out a Jedi today. And you hear this one, so they haven't seen you, they're looking out the opposite way, standing at the edge of this ledge, and this Inquisitor goes, oh, more of our forces are going down. This is excellent. More glory for me when I take out the Jedi. And I literally, and this is just after you get force pushed, and I literally got up and I was like, oh my goodness, I can do this. And I just went up behind them, force pushed, and this, kind of like we're saying, like mini boss Inquisitor just flies off and dies. And it's such, and the Stormtrooper's like, what? Like that, and then you kill him easily. It's such a cool thing that you can do that, and it's now like because you sort of gradually unlock all the force powers. Now that once you get force push and you've got a place where you're battling people and there's a ledge, it's so fun. I think there's actually a trophy for pushing people off. I think I got that very quickly. It's so fun. Last thing then I want to say about the game that is such a positive is you can customize like every part of the lightsaber, like from the obviously the emitter to the hilt to where the button would be, and like you can do the color. So obviously at the beginning you can get green, blue. I think later on you can
get purple.
Get a different, maybe like different colors. You could, and I'm not going to spoil this at all, but you can upgrade the lightsaber even more than that. And I don't want to say any more, but once you do that, it is absolutely incredible.
Use your mind and think.
Because I didn't really actually know that you could do that. I knew it before I did it in the game.
Okay.
But I saw people talking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that they've done that.
Be nice and vague there.
Yes. So there is a lot of lightsaber customization, which I thought, oh, that's cool. But then when you do it, you're like, yes, this is awesome. This is all I've ever wanted.
Absolutely. No, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm really like, there's so much that I enjoy with it. I just think that, like, and it's one of those things where like, maybe if they make another, well, I'm sure they'll make another. I'm sure I don't know how it's sold, but I'm sure it's done well.
Yeah, I don't think we've got details yet because it's so recent.
Obviously it's a difficult time of the year coming out, but I'm sure this game has sold very well.
I'm sure it will as well.
Very well. So hopefully when they make a sequel, like, I think maybe if they a bit more with the story, just little tweaks here and there performance wise as well, I think that it could be a really strong game. Excellent.
Fantastic stuff. I've been feeling quite down on it in the run up to the game coming out. But when I saw you kind of play a bit, it definitely, something kind of clicked a bit more in my head, and actually, I get this. I get why this is an exciting thing. And there was a simple thing which I think you said to me was like, we just need a single player good story-based Star Wars game.
Yeah.
Even if the story isn't amazing,
which is not like it really. I don't think it is.
No,
but I
just
think
having
it's important
that exactly having that kind of single-player driven experience in the Star Wars world, being a Jedi. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Being a Jedi is important.
When it came out, I was looking on like Amazon. I was going to buy it physically, and I was like, because it was 60 quid on the PSN. And I was like, but then I was like, nah, come on, we support this.
Yeah, we support this, exactly. Vote with your wallet with this kind of stuff. And that's, I think I'd like to have that kind of little bit of a chat, maybe in the next episode of the podcast, in terms of that supporting something which is just a clear, good vision compared to your wider generic releases. But so no, it's good to hear that it is pulling through.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I'm going to finish it in the next few weeks. So.
Yeah. How long have you? Do you know how long it is roughly?
No, I don't know if there's a way to see, but I know the story's about 20 hours.
Oh, okay. So it's chunky.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere it was, but I definitely feel like I'm over halfway through, but I feel like I may have played about 10 hours.
Because also it's non-linear in terms of when you get your kind of map, you can then go to any planet.
Well, it's like Metroidvania, so you'll go through the first area and you'll see things that are sort of weirdly highlighted in red, and that means that you interact with them with a force power that you haven't unlocked yet.
Yeah.
So now that I've unlocked like force push and force pull, so I went back to the first planet you go to, and there's a few extra things that I can unlock. And do because I had them. So it's non-linear, but whereas you have control over what planet you go to, but it is linear because you have to go. It's more like optional. Yeah. So you have the storyline which you can continue through, but if you get the next mission which you need to go to this planet, you could decide to go to another planet and just dick about for a bit. It's not like you have. This is the main mission, and there's these side missions. Yeah. It's more like. Oh, are there side missions of sort? Not really. Okay. It's more like it's like optional linearity, because it's like you can once I've for example Kashyyyk, I've gone to Kashyyyk and I've got force push and force pull whatever. Now I could go back. I remember all those things in that Zephyr team. I could go back there and unlock those things and see what chests or whatever in there, and so it is linear, but you have the option of going back and doing unlocking stuff. Excellent. Very good. Well, I am looking forward to it. I definitely will. I was kind of thinking in my head, like, I wonder if I'm actually going to play this game. I think I definitely will play it. Yeah, and I think there will probably be like, a little bit of downtime, maybe in January or so. Yeah, I think that was my intention. Or if I can fit it in during the Christmas break, that'd be great. But I imagine might be a good sale on after Christmas. Yeah, well, so this was, I didn't really put it in the news because it's actually kind of disappointing. There is and it will be gone probably by the time people listen to Black this. Friday. There is the Black Friday sale on PSN. I specifically have not looked at that sale. Yeah, I'd just be like, wow, buy everything. I went through everything, and it's not that great. Okay, it's not that great. If I'm being honest. But I'm sure there's something you can always find in there. Right, I think that about does it for this episode. Excellent. We've chatted long enough about games today. Well, hold up, because I don't want you getting out of this. No, I don't want to. I was hoping we could avoid this, because we have to talk about the bets. Yes, we do. So last time, we bet on how long? Yeah, the gameplay in the first hour of Death Stranding. Now I've played probably about an hour of Death Stranding. And you've played obviously loads of it, like you just said. What was your answer? So I said, I think 40 something. I think you said 42. 42 minutes of gameplay during this first hour. And I think you said 0. I said 0 minutes. Yeah. So we do both the two opposite ends of the spectrum, kind of for it. And I mean, this is somewhat debatable. There is a bit of there is gameplay. So you've won the bet, absolutely. Yeah. But technically, when you start playing, you could just walk around for ages. Yeah. And if you just an hour. Like that first little bit where you literally walk to that little building, like if you just walked for an hour. Yeah. But no, you 100% do win that bet. There is so many cutscenes during the first 5 hours of the game. It's just like there's so much. So the score was 7-2. So that means what's that
8-2? 8-2 then?
Oh, you sure? Because I think if we rewind the tape, you might remember we said this was going to be double points.
I do remember.
So that actually makes the score 9-2.
9-2.
9-2 to the mighty Hufflepuff. I mean, that's a 7-point lead.
Yeah, this is really evidencing the gulf of how good a gamer you are compared to me. Because this is what it comes down to, is predicting and having pure knowledge of games.
But as all of us are Harry Potter fans, or potheads, I think we call them.
We'll be potheads.
Potheads.
Well, you're a pothead. I'm not a pothead.
Potheads. Well, as we all know, it doesn't matter because Gryffindor will just win over some bullshit at the end. Dumbledore will just be like, oh. Gryffindor.
Well, at our end of year episode, there'll be the golden snitch question, and it'll be
worth 150.
Exactly. So it's all to play for still.
Excellent. Right.
That means the bet for next week. So next time, the bet we're going to do is continuing on from your Star Wars gameplay. We're going to look at, when we record the episode, what percentage of people, according to when you go onto the onto the trophy list, what percentage of people have the platinum trophy in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order?
Now, I feel like I might have a slight advantage here because obviously I've looked at the trophy list. I haven't looked at the percentage though.
Yeah, but the thing is, anything can change.
But I know what the trophy list is like.
Ah, okay.
Yeah? So I feel like I might have started. So having said that,
well, I'll let you go first.
Surely it would only be fair for me to go first.
Yeah, you go first.
All right, I'll let you in. I think it's quite an achievable platinum.
Okay.
So a bit of effort, a lot of exploration, going back, unlocking stuff.
Yeah.
But it will only have been out for like 3 weeks.
3-4 weeks, probably about a month. Just under a month.
My answer is going to be 3.2%.
3.2%.
3.2%.
Lock it in.
3.2% of people that.
Yeah.
That's just have played it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's what. See, I don't know whether you've overshot the mark here, but overshot that. My bet was going to be 1.7, which I think maybe is a bit low, but
1.7. All right.
A lot of people are going to play this game.
And so we should do closest wins. So we'll have to work out what's in midpoint.
Yeah, if it's in the midpoint. It'll probably be like 20% of the people have it. So that is locked in.
What? Wait, what? You
said that was a joke. It was a joke.
Damn.
That is locked in. We will reveal the winner on the next episode.
Excellent.
When we tune in.
Would I reach double figures next time?
No. There's no chance. There's one really, really hard trophy that no one can get. I don't know if that's true at all. That's a complete lie.
Not sure.
I think that just about does it.
That does it.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Chris.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited now for you to sign off the podcast with your trademark sign.
With my trademark sign off. I'm just going to ramble on about saying a couple of different things. You can go to our website, InDreamsClub.com.
Woo,
it's beautiful, nice
not
picture.
InDreamsClub.org or whatever it is.
No,
because I feel like there's
there is someone has a dot. I think it's .org. You're right.
.org,
so don't go there. Don't give them the clicks. Give us the clicks. Exactly. You can also find us on Twitter, Chris,
at InDreamsClub.
That's the one.
Please give a follow. If you follow it, it will follow you straight back.
We will follow you back. 100%.
Straight back.
Shoot off any questions you've got as well.
Bump up your follow number.
Yes. And please correct us if we ever make a mistake as well.
No.
Don't correct us because we're always right.
I know you can. I suppose.
No.
Oh.
We are right. Everything we say is correct.
Tweet at InDreamsClub. At InDreamsClub. He doesn't have access. He doesn't even have Twitter.
So. Yeah, true. That's
well, actually, no. He does have a Twitter account which he could log in, and he doesn't even follow InDreamsClub.
That's true. I haven't logged into it in years.
It's embarrassing.
See, I told you we're going to ramble on with this ending. I will find a way to finish this. It'd
be funny if it just cut out. Like whoever edits this one, if it just cuts out.
All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Can't edit like that.
No.
I can't edit like that.
But that is that. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Nice.
In the bag.
In the bag.
remember that vine of that kid that's put peanut butter all over herself?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
This kid's like smothered, this little like baby smothered in peanut butter, and the mum walks in and is like, "How do you feel?" And the kid just goes, Have you never seen that?
No.
I'll have to show you. I'll have to find it in a minute.
Alright.